let's continue with Chapter 3. Objective 3 explains the importance of backing up files on a regular schedule to another hard drive, DVD, flash drive, or the cloud. Backing up is the process of copying your files to another location. It's something that a lot of us don't think about until it's too late. All of a sudden, something happens to your machine or your phone, and boom, you lose everything. Okay? I know there was a story a couple of years ago that really traumatized me. I was in the middle of writing my thesis, and I was watching the news one night, and this woman was going to UNM and working on her PhD. So she was writing a dissertation. Turns out someone broke into her house and stole her computer, which had her dissertation on it. And, of course, as always, the news wants to blame the victim, right? So they ask her, didn't you have a backup? And she said, yes, I did. I actually had it backed up to an external hard drive, which sadly she kept with her computer, and the thieves stole that as well. So, what a travesty. That would have just ruined my whole year. Okay, so, I mean, that's an extreme example, which I hope never happens to anyone, but you have to back your stuff up. It's really important. There's tons of different backup storage options, including internal hard drives, external hard drives, optical drives, and flash drives. The cloud, of course, okay? Both Windows and Mac OS include a backup utility program. However, other options include online backup services that are free or inexpensive. Windows makes it easy to back up your files with a utility called File History. File History is not turned on by default, so you need to go in there and turn it on and back up your computer. Okay? You can access File History from opening up the Control Panel, click on System and Security, and then click on File History. Turn it on, and then plug in your external drive, then click Run Now and start your backup. Okay? So you have to have an external drive or a network location accessible in order to store the backup copies. You can't just back up to your internal hard drive. That's pretty much pointless. Okay? So once you get this set up, it's going to tell you where you are keeping your files, the history of your files, when your files were last copied. Okay, this person is definitely due for a backup, like 4 years ago. And then when you want to start a backup, you just click on Run Now. If you don't want File History on, you come and click on Turn Off. All right? Mac OS, Macs come with a backup utility called Time Machine, which can be opened from the Launchpad. Time Machine keeps 3 types of backups: hourly backups for the previous 24 hours, daily backups for the previous month, and weekly backups for all previous months. The oldest backups are deleted as the disk fills up. Time Machine backs up everything on your machine, your personal files as well as system files, applications, and settings. You can choose where you want the backups to happen, whether it's to your internal hard drive or some sort of external device. And my recommendation is to always choose some sort of external device. Okay? The use of internet or cloud storage is another option to store files in a remote location that's accessible from anywhere. There's a lot of different sites out there that offer free personal storage of 1 or 2 gigs. So not a lot, but enough to store, say, a dissertation or a thesis, okay? Or you can find unlimited storage if you pay a monthly or annual subscription fee for them to store your working files. Okay. Internet or cloud backup services copy your files to cloud storage that's designed to hold backups. Okay. This is just one example. This is Carbonite, and that's one company that offers cloud backup service. There's a lot out there. Another option for free online storage is Microsoft's OneDrive, which was previously called SkyDrive. When you create a Microsoft account, you automatically receive 7 gigs of free OneDrive storage for your files, so that's a decent amount. You can save directly to your OneDrive from all Microsoft Office applications. So making your life easier if you did some homework at home and then you come to school and you don't want to bring anything with you, you can log on to a Highlands computer and log into your Microsoft OneDrive account, and then you have all of your stuff right there for you. Okay, so when you log in, it's going to show you which files you have there. Okay. Windows computers can all connect to OneDrive using the OneDrive app. We would hope so, since they're all Microsoft design. For macOS and iOS users, 5 gigs of free cloud storage is provided through iCloud. Okay, and then you can set it up here. It's going to show you have 5 gigs of iCloud storage, how much storage is available. You can manage that storage. Select like what you want to actually be backing up. Okay, this is on your, well, this is what it looks like when I do my phone anyway. Okay, so you can select, yes, I want my photos. No, don't back up my mail. Maybe back up my contacts, etc. And then you choose that, and it will then back that up for you automatically. Okay, so Objective 4, we're going to talk about how to compress files. File compression is just the process of making files smaller to conserve disk space and then make them easier to transfer. Some of the files used today can be huge, okay? Especially media files like videos, photos, music, right? So file compression is, again, the process of making files smaller to conserve that disk space and to make the files easier to transfer, or to attach to emails. Because usually when you're going to send an attachment, especially via email, it's going to give you a limit on the size of that attachment. So if your file's too large, you're probably going to have to compress it. Okay. There's 2 types of file compression algorithms. We have lossy, okay, and lossless. Windows uses the zip format to compress and decompress files. This format is a common format that used to send files by email or to download them from the internet. A zip file can contain multiple files zipped together. Okay, so this makes transferring multiple files a lot easier. Popular file compression programs include 7-Zip, WinRAR. That's the one I personally use. It says it's only free for a while, but it's been free for like 7 years, so I'm a big fan of WinRAR. There's WinZip, there's StuffIt, so lots of different file compression programs out there. Okay. So let's talk about the differences in the 2 types of file compression. With lossy compression, this is the type we're going to use on images, audio files, video files. Okay. These files contain, according to the experts, more information than humans can actually detect. And so that leaves a substantial amount of data that can be discarded because supposedly we're not going to miss it. Okay. The lossy compression algorithm removes that undetectable information from the file. All right, so once you've done this, that data is gone. Like, you can't get it back. Okay, so once you've compressed these images or audio files, video files, once you've compressed them, the extra amount of data is gone. You cannot get that back. Okay, that's why we call it lossy here. Lossless, we use this one for files that contain text and numbers. So files that contain a lot of redundant information, repetitive information. Okay. This algorithm looks for redundancy in the file, and then it creates an encoded file using that information to remove the redundant information. Okay. Once you decompress your file, all the information from the original file is restored because it goes back to that encoded file, puts that information back into your compressed file, and you open it up, it's decompressed, and there's no loss of data. Obviously, you don't want to have loss of data. We're talking about big papers here, maybe big data files, so lots of numbers. Like you can't, there's no way to remove that information. That is all essential information, okay? So we use that type of file compression in cases where it's important that the original and the decompressed data be identical. Okay, so let's talk about ways to search for files. In Windows, Search in File Explorer can help you locate files that you've misplaced. As soon as you type a letter, number, or character in the search box in File Explorer, the search begins. So you can pull the search box up easily just by pressing F3. Okay, the search results include files in the current location and the folders below it in the file hierarchy. With Windows 10, a search locates programs, including apps, settings, and files. You can access Spotlight, which is a very powerful search tool in macOS when using Finder, by clicking the magnifying glass on the upper right-hand side of the screen. So this guy right here, there's your magnifying glass, okay? Spotlight searches applications, files and folders, contacts, and other objects on your computer. Spotlight can even provide a definition and do simple math calculations. Boolean logic. Boolean logic was created by the 19th century mathematician George Boole. The Boolean operators AND, OR, and NOT are used to create search filters in Windows, most databases, and web searches. In this slide example, search results using AND include both John and Kennedy. Okay, so that means you're searching only for results that are going to have John and Kennedy. You're throwing out results that just have John, and you're throwing out results that just have Kennedy. Okay, so you'll see you're limiting your search results by using AND there, which is a good thing. If you want to look for John or Kennedy, it's going to look for everything that has the word John in it, everything that has the word Kennedy in it, as well as everything that has both the words John and Kennedy in it. Okay. Maybe you just want to search for John, not Kennedy. You don't want any results that say John Kennedy to come up. So you type in John, not Kennedy. It's going to pull up all the search results that contain the word John, none of the search results that contain the word Kennedy, and none of the search results that contain the word John Kennedy. Okay? So hopefully that explains that for you. It's really helpful to use that. And finally, changing the default program associated with your file type. All right. Default program is an application that is associated with a file, so it allows you to open, view, and edit that file. Windows maintains a list of file extensions and associated default programs, which allows Windows to automatically open the correct program. Keep in mind that some file types, such as MP3, can be opened by more than one application. If you want a generic file type, such as MP3, to be opened by a specific application on your computer, you can set that association in the default program's control panel. Okay, so you're going to go to Control Panel, Programs, Default Programs, Set Default Programs. Okay. When the panel opens, click Set Your Default Programs, and then this Control Panel window is going to open up. Okay. In this panel here, you can view and modify the application associated with the file type so that it becomes the default. So here in this example, we're looking at Paint. It's telling you this program has 3 out of 14 defaults. You can set this program as default or choose the defaults for this program. So here you would be choosing which file types and protocols the selected program opens by default. All right, so that's it for Chapter 3. Please post any questions on the discussion board. Thank you.